before the WCC tournament or before the NCAA tournament, you struggle a little bit, you lose focus. And I've enjoyed the last few practices as much as I've enjoyed any practice with our team this year. They competed, and they worked on getting better. We're still harping on them. We're one of those, and I know people take a different approach, but we still believe we can get better and make improvements. And today and yesterday, they look like they were trying to do just that and get better. So they've been really fun to coach, and I hope I get to keep coaching them for a while.
You knew you were in. They didn't call your name for a little bit. So it's kind of fun, or is it nerve-wracking?
I think it's more fun when you know you're in. When you're, I don't know if it was our first year that we were not large and we were unsure. I had gone through it as an assistant, but we didn't win the tournament. And so that first year they called us almost at the very end, and it was brutal. And so this time, I think if we hadn't won that BYU game, then it would have felt a little bit more stressful, just even though you think you're in. But today, I think it was all in good fun. The players were, Callie was pulling for Baton Rouge because she's from Louisiana originally, and I know the Trongs were pulling for Austin because they're from Texas, and I know Bree thought for sure someone had us playing in Ann Arbor at one point in some bracketology, and so I think obviously we ended up in any of those places, but that was more what it was we're not in Baton Rouge, we're not in Austin, and so Bree was certain. So I think it was kind of fun for our players, and a lot of new people who haven't got to do this, and even last year we did it in Volker by ourselves, spread out. It's very different. So it's nice to have you guys all with us and our family and friends up there couldn't hear it, but to play the game a little bit and just watch it unfold.
I think it's been 4 years since you had like a normal selection day, because 3 years ago you knew who you were going to play because it got league,
right?
And then 2 years ago no tournament, and last year virtual. So what was this like to actually have some sense of normalcy in this experience?
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's a big deal, and those are the kind of things you do it for the games, but you also do it for so much more than that. And as coaches, I can think back to each big win or each big bad loss or I can pick that stuff apart. But I think as a player, when I think back on my playing days, I remember more stuff like that, and more stuff like the WCC tournament travel, and I remember the trip to Europe, and the fun things that I get to do with my teammates. And so I think for these guys, it's probably a lot of fun to sit up there, and they'll remember that. And as a coach, I love having the kids up there with the team, and all of you in person, and all of our families in person, and all of our staff in person, and it feels like it's supposed to be. So I'm really grateful that we're at that stage right now.
Melody Kempton, can you kind of speak to how she's progressed from her freshman year to now?
Yeah, well, when she was a freshman, all we asked her to do was rebound and run. And her role has changed some. We're still really relying on her to rebound and run. But now she's right there with our top 4 or 5 that are all kind of tied in a glut there for leading us in scoring. She makes big plays. She's solid. She had a game winner this year, which is the first time she's done that here at Gonzaga, or the first time she's probably been on the floor when we needed that, or one of those times, you know what I mean? So she certainly has improved tremendously as a player, and I think it's because she just shows up every day, and she knows this. We praise her for her show up and her effort, and just for being consistent and steady, and that is an underrated characteristic. Not by coaches, but it doesn't always show up. It doesn't show up on the stat sheet how steady you are, and it doesn't show up how much energy you bring every day. But I sure know that if there's been a day, which I don't know if she's ever missed a practice, but if there was one where she was out of practice, you would have felt it, because she just is so solid. And by saying so solid, it's like a huge compliment. You know what I mean? It's not just she's just steady. It's way more than that. So I'm thankful that we've got to coach her. We're still trying to convince her to stay for another year. So if any of you guys have any pull, I would appreciate it if you guys would call in a favor for me. Yeah. Anyone else? For me?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Here's the that's what you guys usually do. Hear my name sneak in and hear what I was about to.
Alright, whenever cameras are set, you guys have questions for Sarah Walker.
Thoughts?
I'm super excited. This is my first true NCAA selection Sunday. So I'm just super excited. And a 9 seed, I was not expecting to be a 9 seed, so I'm just over the moon right now. I'm just super excited.
Getting back to where you started college football a little bit, neighboring Kentucky. Talk talk about just like the expectations and what a difference one game makes, beating BYU last week.
Oh, beating BYU definitely helped us a lot, I think. And I think it gave our team a lot of momentum going into the tournament as well. I think we played really great defense in that game, and I think it showed our team just what we're capable of. And I think that was just a great game to go into the NCAA tournament with.
Anybody else?
Thank you. Applause.
All right, whenever cameras are set, can I have questions for Melanie?
Okay. Thoughts?
Thoughts? Super excited. I mean, now is when we can put all the prep in. You know, before you're always wondering, you see all the preseason polls, what people think you're going to be at, where people think the bracket's going to go. And I mean, it's great to wonder, but that doesn't really help us at all. So now that we know what's next, it's nice. It's ready to prep time. Like, I'm excited. We have a goal now. So excited.
Were you pleasantly surprised by the 9 seed?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, I always say I feel like we deserve a lot more than generally what the tournament puts us at. So seeing that seed come out felt great. I mean, like Lisa was saying, I think it might have been the highest that we've gotten. So just feel honored to have that and excited to see what's happening next.
What do you guys got to do to be successful?
I mean, that's a tough question. We haven't scouted this team yet, so I mean, it might change team to team. What is successful with one team will not be the same with the other. So, I mean, just like looking up what this team likes to do, I know they're pretty great shooters. So, I mean, taking that away would be the first step. But after that, I think just the coaches will come up with a great game plan. And I think if we can stick to that, we'll be successful.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tom. Did you guys like any other players, or
Thank you.
you guys are good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.